Hello, greetings, and welcome back to the BFC, where we go into the trenches of the trading world and get us some due diligence, some DD from the source. We have a bunch of great guests today, but before we go any further, smash the like button, hit subscribe, because we are just getting started. I said this is going to be the year of the BFC, and it has been just that. All right. I am going to be doing some stock updates after our guest segment, so make sure you guys stick around. All right, let's get this thing going. Back for his second round on the BFC to share updates on smoking giraffes, GRAF, as well as their development on the NFT front is Super Robot. Let's bring him in.
Hey,
Jake,
guys.
aka Super Robot. Welcome back to the BFC. How you doing?
Great. Thanks for having me back. It's been a time since we were on here last. Had some ups and downs, but we're going strong still. I just did a spaces for like an hour last night on the Smoking Giraffe page. So if anyone missed that, we covered a lot of what we're working on to turn things around. So go check that out. It was all recorded. But yeah, I'm glad to be back. I guess I'll just jump into some updates about the project. We just did our NFT mint, which was, I think, really successful. We did over 800 NFTs minted, which was awesome. Super happy to see that. Raised a lot of money for the project. Gives us some flexibility to do more things like marketing and stuff, which is great. And then I talked about in the spaces last night, part of our plan to kind of help the price and help support the token here. Because, well, let's first talk about what's happened since last time I was on the show. Obviously, we hit all-time high of 10 million, which was fantastic. Now we're quite a bit back down. Why that is, had a lot of toxic holders, man. A lot of people just, they weren't in it to win it. So they bailed. That's what happens. Crypto is super volatile, so I get it. I understand, too, a lot of people that were in the token were kind of new to Solana and probably freaking out when they see the price go down and they're like, oh, I've never done a meme coin before. Now I'm scared. Am I going to lose all my money? So I get it, right? But here we are, and we're still working, and the community's stronger than ever. And the NFT mint really showed that. Not only the fact that we were able to mint over 800 at a premium price, really, because we were minting at 0.35 Solana, which was ballsy. In this NFT market, a lot of the mints have been 0.1 Solana, sometimes even less, sometimes free mints. So the NFT market right now is like super cheap mints. We were on the higher end of that. So the fact that we were able to do well with that is fantastic. Shows how strong our community is. Shows that people still love Graf. People still care. And obviously I still care a lot and am still working every day on it. So, yeah, we had the price decline. It is what it is. Nobody's thrilled about it, but we have to work with the reality and we have to work with what we have from where we are, right? So that's what we're doing, and we're adapting and we're changing and we're doing some new things. Part of that I talked about in the spaces last night is the 3 Bs. So the 3 Bs is what I coined as a term to describe it's buyback, burn, and boost. So what does that mean? It means, well, the token's super cheap now, which means myself and people that believe in me can buy a lot of tokens really cheap here. And that gives me the flexibility to improve the fundamentals, improve the structure, improve the supply, right? So that's what we're going to do. So I actually just bought back 4 million today. I'll keep doing that. Give me all the tokens, whatever. It's too cheap here for me to not do that. So I did that. There will be more, and then so buybacks phase 1, burn and boost. Burning, we talked about last time that I don't find burning very efficient. I don't find burning very efficient at high market caps. Reason being, as I explained on the spaces as well, if you want to burn 10 million tokens at a high market cap, right? Let's say that's 30, 40K worth. That money can just be used better than just burning it, right? You're not even going to be able to burn a lot of supply at high market caps without a massive investment. And you'd be better off using those tokens to get influencer marketing or paying out more developers, artists, etc., right? Bringing people into the team. But at these prices, it's different because it's so cheap now that you can really get a lot of tokens for so low cost that it makes sense for me to reduce the supply even further. As you know or may know, we've mentioned before, we already burned 30 million out of the supply, so it went from 500 to 470. Now we can burn a lot more and really bring that supply down. And the less supply we have, in theory, the less JEETs we're going to have to deal with as the token moves back up, because there's just less tokens in the hands of what I now refer to as toxic shareholders, let's call them. Right? So you've heard of toxic note holders, but now you have toxic shareholders. And, we obviously dealt with that a lot. And to everyone that's, frustrated and that's been riding it out with it, I apologize. But it is what it is. And I never sold a token, and I'm still supporting, and I'm working on it every day. So we're going to get it back up. I'm very confident that we'll turn things around. The flush that we've seen play out, unfortunately, had to happen because there were people in this coin that didn't believe in it and just wanted to just sell every day. So they had to go for us to build again, but we are rebuilding, and I'm really looking forward to the future still. We have a lot of cool stuff planned. I mentioned in the spaces last night as well. We have a bit of a new and exciting direction with the game that we're working on, where it's going to integrate your NFTs and your tokens, and you'll be able to upgrade your NFTs in the game with Graf tokens, and then those Graf tokens you use to upgrade them will be burnt. So it's going to be really beneficial, I believe, to the token ecosystem, and it's also going to be a really accessible game. So it may bring in people from the outside that may not like crypto so much, but they're like, well, I really like these cute giraffes and I like the game, so I want to get into it, right? But yeah, that's the kind of things we've been working on in terms. We have the new game direction, the improved game direction, and then we have the 3Bs, and those are two key things for us, especially at this price point, that we just keep getting the ball rolling with those things. Obviously, I've already started the buyback stuff, so I was quick to do that. And when I talk about things with this token, a common theme you'll find with me is, and I can say this with full confidence, I know it to be true since we've started the token, is when I say this is the thing I'm going to do with the token, it happens, right? It's not like 6 months later you're like, remember when he said that and it never happened? No, we don't do that here. If I say in a spaces that I'm going to do this, you can count on it. Like last night, send to spaces, I'm going to do this. 12 hours later, gets done. So that's how we work. That's how we operate, and that's why I'm confident in the future of the token. And we also have such a great community still behind us. Hundreds of people active in the chats, contributing, making art, just talking about it. They love it, and they're all still supportive. And, it really warms my heart to see that. I'm super thankful for those people, and I don't want to let them down. So that's why I work on it every day, because I really just don't want to let all the people down that have been so supportive. And, super confident that we're going to be able to rebuild from here.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Definitely. I did see the space last night. I wasn't able to hop on, unfortunately, but I gotta say, so would you make another meme coin?
Never making another meme.
This is it, right?
Especially after this experience, the amount of work that goes in for long-term success. If you want to crank out a pump and dump, it's not that much work, but for a long-term coin like this, where you always have to innovate, because people get bored really fast in crypto, really fast.
Yeah, they do.
In a week, they're bored of it. So if you're not constantly innovating, constantly presenting new ideas, then people just get bored, and it happens quick. And that's one of the biggest challenges with supporting longevity of the project is how are we going to innovate all the time? NFTs, we were early on. We hit it at the beginning of the NFT boom. After us, there was like 10 million NFT projects coming out for like a month period on Solana. So even Zach Coin like almost had one. I don't know who, like I saw it on Twitter, and then I guess they didn't do it, but I saw some tweets about like Zach NFT. I said in the chat, I was like, told you we were first. I knew they would try something, So
and so the NFT space, I mean, what would you say is the best thing to come out of that NFT space?
So
do you think this is going to be the saving grace to the token?
In a way, there's a couple things with the NFTs. I feel that being able to have ownership of something that you can actually visualize increases your sentimental attachment, right? With meme coins, there's no visualization. You don't really feel like you're owning anything, whereas NFTs you do. And we want people to be sentimentally attached to the token because if they care about it, that's how you grow the community, right? And that's how you grow real holders, real supporters. So that's a big part of it. It also is just super fun because they can be integrated in a bunch of different ways. For example, we're on Meme Battle now as a clan. So you can go on memebattle.com or memebattle.fun. And you can actually log in with your wallet, connect your wallet with your Graf NFTs, join the Graf clan, and then use those NFTs to battle other players, whether it be their memes or their other NFT projects, whatever. You can battle other players. You can wager Solana and win. So Graf community has already won like over $1,000 on Meme Battle, which is pretty awesome.
That is cool.
Yeah. And then, there's other ways to integrate them too. Like, as I was saying with the game, your playable character can be your NFT, right? So all of these things you can do with NFTs that you can't do with coins.
What can you tell us about the game? Like right now, like what can you tell us about like maybe the game objective and how close are you guys to releasing this?
Yeah, so I'm hoping for by the end of 2024. I don't want to put an official date out yet because there was difficulties, honestly, with the developers that were working on it originally. So we've had to pivot. This is what happens. But my whole thing is, roadblocks or problems that we encounter are not reasons to give up. They're reasons to pivot. They're reasons to adapt. And that's what you have to do. You have to stay on your toes and be able to adapt to problems. So we have adapted to problems. I've had talks with some new developers. We still have all the code for it and everything. But yeah, I'm hopeful for by the end of 2024 release. There's going to be a big emphasis on like a virtual pet type of thing. So I don't know if you remember like Tamagotchi type of stuff. But we're working on that as part of the game where your NFT will be like your virtual pet and you can use the game to upgrade it to get more rare traits that weren't even available for the mint, right? So if you want the ultra rare, then you'll have to play the game to unlock that. So it's
Are you going to do a public demo like in a space when it gets released?
Yeah, we'll definitely do demos. When I have more footage to show off, that will absolutely come. Yeah. So we're excited for that, but we're taking our time with it as well because I don't want to have a rush product and I don't want to say we're launching on November 10th and then we miss the deadline because
I think as a trader
backing me, so I can't do that,
because you've been on the other side as an investor, as a trader, and like how what a kick in the pants it is when a timeline falls through. So yes. I think it's smart to be like, yeah, we don't have a timeline on it because all the road bumps that could happen, the pivots that you're going to have to do. So I think that is a very smart idea, not to say, hey, listen, on November 1st, this is what we're going to do. And so wise, I would say.
Yeah.
So would you say, and I'm going to get to, there's a couple questions out there for you.
Sure.
But before I get to those, I got to say, as a trader, as an investor, heading up this project that you've done with the giraffes and raising money for giraffes, do you have a different perspective now of what it's like to be in a CEO's shoes? And are you a little bit more empathetic to
very much so? Very much so. I totally get it now. I understand why you see some OTC companies have like drunk, frustrated tweets come out, like, because I totally get it. Like, you aren't always like in equities, I guess, right? The amount of work you do or the amount you accomplish isn't always necessarily rewarded in terms of the price. And it can be super frustrating. And sometimes you're like, well, I just did 18 million positive things. Like, why are we at lows? And the truth is you just can't control the market. And so it's frustrating as a human being when you have something that you cannot control, right? And that's what we deal with. But the hope is, and same goes to, CEOs of companies that are publicly traded, is the hope is you can build enough value where in the long term, you are rewarded for that. So you do have to zoom out and have a long-term approach because it's not going to happen overnight and you're not going to get instant gratification from the work that you do.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And it's nice to hear your perspective, having headed this up and, you get both sides of the coin, being a trader and now leading this project. So it's really cool to watch you and a couple other traders do these coins and do these projects and just sort of see like the lessons that you've learned, so that's pretty cool. Let's get to there's a couple questions here. Where do you buy this? Coinbase or where?
Okay, so buying it's pretty easy now. You cannot buy it on a major exchange like Coinbase because it's a decentralized token. So we're not centralized. So we're not available on KYC exchanges, right? But we are available on decentralized exchanges, and it's super easy now. So all you have to do is download Phantom Wallet or Soulflare Wallet. These are the two biggest apps for Solana. It's where you store your Solana. It's where you trade with your Solana. They're the two biggest apps. Everyone has them. They're super popular. They're very easy to use. You just download one of them. You deposit some Solana into there. You can buy Solana on Coinbase, or you can buy Solana right in Phantom or Soulflare Wallet now. I think they limit you up to like $5,000 at once, but you can buy it right in the wallet app, and then you just hit the swap button, which is basically the trade button in crypto. They call it swapping instead of trading. But you hit swap, you type in Giraffe, or you can type in Smoking Giraffe. It pops up. Click on it, say how much you want to buy, boom, now it's in your wallet. So it's very simple to do. You just go on Phantom or Soulflare, search for us, find us, buy it.
Excellent. A couple more questions here. What is the total token count available to buy at this current price?
So
what if somebody wanted to buy all your tokens right now?
The total supply of the token is 470 million, which is less than half of the standard supply of a token. So the standard supply on Solana, the industry standard, what everyone goes with, is 1 billion. We have less than half of that, 470 million, which I think gives us a unique edge. And I think it's actually important to have lower supply versus higher supply because it's easier to be controlled among loyal people and not toxic shareholders, right? But yeah, right now, between what's owned already by the community, there's maybe 30, 40 million tokens left out there. Before like the float is basically 100% locked. Now it can't ever like
That's
realistically
not a lot.
be 100% because obviously there's going to be sellers always at some point, but you can get really close to that and get like kind of a squeeze effect, right? Because there's like barely any left in the market. But yeah, it's not a lot at all. I mean, at these prices, what is that, 30 grand or something? Like it's not a lot. Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. All right. Excellent. And I see the mindset there of, being a trader and keeping that well under $1 billion. You have CEOs always say we're going to be well under $1 billion, and then next thing you know, they're well above $1 billion. So great to make that a focal point for you. AD question: when will Giraffe be on Coinbase, and if not, why? I think you just covered that.
Sure. So Coinbase is very selective with decentralized tokens that they accept for trading on their exchange because they're the big boy. That's like getting on the NYSE in crypto. So we have to be like $1 billion market cap to get on Coinbase. So, maybe in a year, that'd be cool. But right now it's not realistic. And that applies to every decentralized token. It's not a Graf issue. It's not any of your favorite meme coins, even like Zach, which is much higher than us, still is not really applicable for Coinbase. It's just not, they really only take like $1 billion projects. So that's just how it is with them. So, you'll see SHIB and Doge on there because they're like 10 billion market cap, but you won't see small projects on Coinbase. Unfortunately, maybe in the future that will change. They become more open to that. You can buy it on their Coinbase wallet app, which is their decentralized app, but you can't buy it on their centralized exchange, Coinbase itself.
Okay. Nicholas Coriano, this guy doesn't look like a robot. No, he doesn't. But I want to say thank you for coming on and giving us this update. This has been great. I'm going to be following you. I follow you, and I'm hoping your project, reaches new highs. You guys are battling now. I can't wait to see the game demo when it's time, and I can't wait to see what you guys are doing on the NFT front. And just keep on plugging away, man.
Thank you. And to Nick, I may just be a robot. For all you know, this could be an NFT that you're looking at. So
buyback, burn, and boost.
The 3 Bs.
That's right. Super
yes,
robot,
sir.
everybody. Thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Take care.
Get this guy out of here. Get him out of here. Always great to get a crypto update. Awesome guy. If you haven't followed Super Robot, make sure you do. big OTC trader as well. He's been in the game a while, but let's keep this party going. Let's keep going here. You know what? I was going to do these guys individually and have them come on separately, but they're like, no, let's go on together because you know what? There's a lot of synergies there, and that's what we're going to do. So, introducing CEO of MVCO Ryan Chadell and CEO of LTNC Tom Zaro. Let's bring him in. Gentlemen, welcome back to the BFC. How you doing?
Doing great. Good to see you, Tom. You looking good, brother.
Hey, thanks. You too, Ryan. I was going to bring a hat and try and grow a beard, but I didn't have enough time.
Well, you know, it only takes like 3 days.
Yeah, it's great to have you guys on together, you know, especially, you know, given the LTNC connection. And both of you guys, and I just want to say this to both of you, congratulations. You guys have been knocking it out of the park lately. And, you know, we could talk about share price all day long, but what you guys have accomplished recently for both of you is great. And we're going to get into that. So congratulations to you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
All right. So I'm going to start with Tom, and I'm going to talk about each of your acquisitions that you have going on. You've been busy. You know, I want you to talk a little bit about the recent acquisitions of Illumination Holdings and how significant is this for the company and its shareholders?
Well, thank you, Eric. Yes, I've been busy. We've been busy. I try not to ever engage in the public forum without thanking officially our volunteer crew that has gotten us to this point where we could actually go from expert markets to pink current to trading to building a brand locked in under next gen, wholly owned sub of LTNC. And now in a position where we were attractive to a company like Illumination Holdings, who was a formerly public company in Canada under trading symbol C, B, D, and F. So the opportunity came up for us to merge with them, and it made so much sense for us to do it as a wholly owned subsidiary under LTNC. Because if you've followed me or have listened to my story over the last couple of years, it was always my ambition to give LTNC its own identity, if you will. So originally we had Takeover, that subsidiary still exists. We then formed Next Gen Beverages because Takeover could not be salvaged. Next Gen Beverages owns or operates brand name Locked In. That's what everybody knows. But LTNC now is serving the role of parent umbrella. And now underneath it, it has Illuminations Holdings. With that, we represent brands. We have distribution centers. We have trucks. We have forklifts. We have 50 or 60 employees in the state of Colorado. We have distribution in Wyoming, South Dakota, and Colorado. We have 5,000 retail stores that we sell to. The hardest thing for an emerging brand to accomplish is to obtain real estate in that coveted storefront that is selling the product. So half the battle is getting that real estate. The other half of the battle is pulling it through. And we have an expert marketing team held with Javier, our CMO. He's doing a phenomenal job. Everybody loves him. So we know we can create the pull through. And now we have the sales and marketing in those 3 states that'll also pull through after we place the products on the shelf. So now we've managed to expedite our business plan at least a couple, 3 years, and couldn't be more happy. We also, I don't want it to go unnoticed that we also have acquired an executive management team there that have put brands on shelves and built brands like Rockstar, Aspen Pure, Liquid Death. These are all brands that have come through that facility and gained fame, if you will, through their efforts. So I think Locked In is going to do that. And then we're also going to represent all the other brands, including alcohol, wine, beer, and tobacco. We're not happy about the tobacco part, but it's part of the business. So it's new.
Yeah, right on. And I do want to follow up. And don't worry, Ryan, I'm going to get to you in a second because I know, like,
hey, I'm patient, baby. I'm just enjoying the moment. And actually, I have some questions now that I'm here to actually have some questions when it's my turn. If that's okay.
It could be your turn whenever. And I do have a couple follow-ups, but welcome to Whose Acquisition is Bigger with Ryan and Tom. All right.
Well, Eric, I have watched Ryan's live streams, and he had Pixie, his new CEO that's coming in.
Yep.
She's phenomenal, by the way.
Yes.
And I want to be the first to say, I don't know if you know this, Ryan, but Pixie's coming to Las Vegas next week to judge the Miss America contest.
Yeah.
She's reached out, and we are in conversation to carry Striped Pig through the
Really?
legacy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
That's great news.
Wild.
Yep.
All
Through
right.
the legacy distribution. So now we're going to bring MVCO's new CEO's Striped Pig brand through the legacy distribution center in the 3 states we represent. So thank you for that.
I expected
Wild.
that would happen at some point or another. Clearly, she's already thinking way ahead and jumping on that. And I think she's. I mean, you've seen the content I've done with her. The lady is nothing
She's
short of just amazing. Yeah, she is NASDAQ quality CEO, NASDAQ quality company coming in here. Yeah, your acquisition, I think, at the moment might be bigger.
Well, it depends how many shots you pour of that bourbon that she's got.
That is true. That is true. I mean, I think it depends on how you want to measure it. I don't know. I think we should check back in 6 months and then compare notes at that point in time.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's challenge accepted, sir. Challenge accepted.
All right. Okay.
Oh, and this is good stuff. And I do hope to have Pixie on at some points because I want to hear about the inner workings there.
Sure you will.
And I do want to follow up a little bit. And Ryan, jump in anytime. Let's grill this guy. No, but seriously, this was a very important thing in the recent PR that you had talking about at the end of June 2024. The unaudited balance sheet of Illumination Holdings included total assets of $10.3 million, total liabilities of $17.6 million, of which $3.5 million is long-term lease obligations, and $7.1 million is long-term debt, which the company anticipates to be paid in full by the end of the fourth quarter, 2025 from cash flows. And so that being said, that's a very bold statement. That's huge. If you're able to do that with cash flows, it means you have a hell of a ton of money coming in. How confident are you that is going to be the reality by the end of the year next year?
Well, I'm extraordinarily confident. Again, I had a chance to meet with Brad and Scott and Mike and Jeremy and the other executives, and the projections are very robust. We wouldn't have done this deal if we didn't think that it could, in fact, retire its debt. It would make no sense to grab an anchor at this point in LTNC's life. So we needed a rocket ship, and we believe this is it. Now, we've got projections, we've got salespeople, we've got sales managers and executives, and they submit projections. I can tell you that from what I'm seeing, I am not fearful that we're not going to hit them. I think we are. So stay tuned. Like Ryan said, check back. We have some very exciting things taking place at LTNC, not the least of which is 2 more acquisitions that I'm hoping, product acquisitions that I'm hoping we can announce in the next 30 days. And then a new wholly owned subsidiary that we plan on forming under LTNC to give Next Gen and Illuminations an additional sister subsidiary under LTNC. So what we announced was just the beginning of this season, and I anticipate it all working out. We're all working very hard for it.
Is there anything you can tell us about the product acquisitions that you're working on? Can you give us any kind of color on that? Revenues, potential revenues, what
that'd be great.
Sector?
Well, I think it would be I need to be careful because we want to make we want to finalize the acquisition, announce it, and be compliant with OTC markets. But we also don't want to give competitive information away to our competitors. And because we now have this retail space, because people are looking at us, we've already received a cease and desist from one of the largest energy drink manufacturers in the country. So we've caught the eye of some of our competitors, and I really don't want to give them an edge. And the sales team has asked me to be extremely careful in saying anything that might tip them off.
So if, just to follow up, and then I'll let you take back over here, brother. Sorry.
No, you're great,
just
man.
Follow up to that.
Great. I love it.
The way that you worded that to me implies that these particular products that you're talking about already have significant revenues. Otherwise, what would be the big secret? You know what I mean? So am I wrong?
You're correct.
Okay.
Yeah, you're correct.
I'm not going to press the issue anymore. Clearly, it's a,
I want to be careful. I've always been the CEO, and I speak a little bit for my co-CEO, Brad Wyatt, who's phenomenal, by the way. And he's not here. He's actually visiting with his folks, which is fabulous. He's been fighting a war over there in Colorado. We both believe strongly that as tempted as we are as CEOs of public companies, especially OTC companies, especially ones that have a shareholder base like LTNC, they've become friends. Frankly, they've become family. And I want to just come out, tell the world everything we're doing, get everybody super pumped up and excited. And Brad and I talked about it. And we're like, you know what? We're going to execute fundamentally. And even when we went pink current, everything we've done for the last couple of years now, me and the executive team and the whole team at LTNC, we have produced, we've acted, then we published. So Ryan, when you said, Tom, can we consider these to be, significant? I want to be careful with the word significant because people may define that differently. I can tell you this.
Yeah.
I can definitely tell you this from a brand perspective and sales volume. Now that our financials are out and they've been dissected from some of our most loyal shareholders, the sales for Next Gen and Locked In are really small. We needed to do something to grow that, which is what led us down this potential product acquisition part. So we are going to explode our sales as a percentage with these product acquisitions, but I don't think we're in significant range. When we talk about significant, I want to start seeing $50 and $100 million numbers to define it as significant, but certainly as a percentage, extraordinary for us.
Got it. All right. So, but we'll have more info on that soon. Yeah.
You have to. It's the rules, and we're working hard towards it. So it's going to be a busy couple weeks for me and the team.
Yeah, right on.
Sorry,
Good job,
Ryan. Like everybody else.
I'm trying.
I paid him to ask those questions. No, I'm just kidding. That was a joke. That was a joke, folks. Well, I do want to follow up. I want to talk about Brad. I want to talk about the team over there. Your co-CEO now, Brad. Obviously there's some synergies going on. Where do you see your relationship in a year? I mean, you've obviously have really hit it off, through this process.
Absolutely.
Where do you guys see yourselves stronger and more successful a year from now?
Well, good question. Thank you for that, sir. So Brad and I start as co-CEOs. He is currently CEO of Illumination Holdings. I'm currently CEO of LTNC and Next Gen Beverages. We've joined at the hip for LTNC leadership. So he is at the helm with me. We are both at the helm seat. It is my ambition to turn over that helm seat from LTNC's perspective, and I will go to the board and remain chairman of the board. At that point, I would like to see Brad replace himself at Illuminations with a CEO there. And then, as you know, we have Michael Aragi, who's the president at Next Gen Beverages. So he's doing a phenomenal job with Locked In and that whole brand. Him and the whole team are full stride, running full speed ahead. And then I want somebody to replace Brad at Illuminations. Brad will take over CEO of all of LTNC, which again, coming soon, very quickly, you're going to have 4. Right now, you have 3 subsidiaries. Soon we will have 4, and the numbers are going to be significant if we hit our projections. And he's going to have his hands full trying to do consolidated financials and compliance and all the things a CEO of a conglomerate will be doing. And I want to say this one more thing for Brad, because I don't think I gave him credit for it. Brad's been here before. Brad's been here before with significant revenues. I have not. So when we start talking 50s and 100s and 250s, these are numbers on a piece of paper for Brad. They don't keep him up at night. He manages them. He tells them what to do and he makes them work for him. Me, those are scary numbers for a guy like me. So he's going to grow back into the position he's most comfortable with, and I'm going to let him do it. I trust him.
Excellent. And I want to say, the share price, it's been beaten to hell, and you know that.
Yep.
And I'm going to say it's not in regards to a lack of communication or an effort of management. You guys, and Tom, I know you've been busting your ass with this. And I know the shareholders, you have a absolutely loyal shareholder base. No matter where the share price is, I got to say, they're always posting pictures of the products. They're always promoting the products. They're out there fighting for the investment. They really are. And, so shout out to the LTNC community. You guys are awesome. But when will be the time for locked in shareholders, do you think? And I know this is a little speculative, where we rise up and get out of the sub penny level for good?
Well, obviously crystal ball, blah, blah, blah. Can't give financial advice.
Not
blah,
financial
blah,
advice.
Blah. Put the disclaimer back up there, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But so the share price is, in my opinion, artificially low at this point because of the toxic selling that's taking place by a few former note holders, if you will, and current large block shareholders that are exiting their position. It's their right to do so. I don't begrudge them. I want them to get money, lots of it, reinvest here, buy houses, cars, and fancy dogs, whatever they want to do with their money. So that is temporary. I've shared this multiple times. There is a finite number of shares out there. We've traded over 3 billion shares since we started trading in April. If we guessed that our big block shareholders were a billion shares out there, you could see how we can churn the float. Now, I did a little bit of math this morning. Somebody posted on one of the comments, and it may have been for the Buffalo Fireside Chat, that people are down 90%. When are you going to address the share structure? Well, I can tell you, as a CEO, there's a quick way to address a share structure. And most CEOs would just reverse split it because they're tired of hearing about it. And that would bring your share price up. But guess what else that does? If you don't have a very strong fundamental business, you will destroy the shareholders. And that's not what we did this for. I remind everybody that 2 years ago, we were dead in the water, expert markets, couldn't get it trading, couldn't do audits. Everything's impossible, never going to happen. Just take the company private and move on. Right? That was the story. Well, we didn't believe that. We gathered, we grabbed every volunteer that was like-minded. We turned the ship around. We did the impossible. We got it trading April 1st. That was a few months ago. Okay, we're up 800% from where we exited previously in the last year. So nobody would be complaining right now over an 8x investment. Well, let's talk about the gentleman that said he's 90% down. Well, my dad taught us stock market lessons. He taught me and my brother a lesson when we were very, very young. And when I mean young, I mean like 6 or 7. We made some money doing something. I think we each made $2, and we went out and we bought, I think, 1 share of Montgomery Ward's and whatever, or Woolworth. I don't remember. The bottom line is that company went bankrupt. Our share was gone. Our shares were gone. So we learned lessons very early. And another lesson Dad taught was always have some dry powder, always be in a position to average down if you believe in the company. So I'd like to just do a little math if I could. If somebody owned 1 million shares and they purchased them at 2 cents, they'd be down substantially right now. That investment would cost them $20,000. Well, today they could buy that same 1 million shares for $2,000. So then for $22,000 total, they could have 2 million shares, therefore bringing their average down over half, and they would not be down 90%. There's no reason for anybody to be down 90% right now. So let's take that even one step further. Let's say somebody bought that 1 million shares for $20,000 at 2 cents a share. Okay, now they have $20,000 and 1 million shares. If they took another $20,000, a like dollar amount, and purchased in the open market, they would have 10 million additional shares, bringing their total share count up to 11 million shares for a total of $40,000, bringing their average down to less than 4, 004. And as you can see, we're in striking range of that. So that person would not be down 90%. I don't understand how anybody could. I do understand being frustrated. I do understand people being pissed and saying, I'm down, do something, do something, do something. We are doing something. We're building a business so we can address this with the best way possible. Cash. With cash, what can you do? You can clean up share structures, get more acquisitions, build top line revenues, and do anything possible, including we've talked about spinning out next gen. So again, for those of you who've been listening to me for the last year and a half, we talked about next gen being a wholly owned subsidiary. There's no dilution to that company. It is 100% owned by the shareholders. So as a wholly owned sub, as a pristine corporation that is debt free, we could spin that out, and on that spin out, protect all the shareholders and dividend them in an equal proportion of their LTNC holdings. And now that we have a business that is frankly anticipated to be much bigger, at least in the short term, underneath LTNC, LTNC survives. So now you have LTNC with illuminations underneath it, and you have next gen with locked in underneath it, or in it more appropriately, in a position to potentially spin out. So shareholders, when you're looking at long-term value, think about the things that we've talked about. Think about the things we talked about before we were pink current. And then ask yourself, do you believe in this management team that can actually pull it off? When I invested in Metabestco, when I invested in LTNC early on, for those of you who know the story, my first investment was at 70 cents. LTNC 70 cents. Wrap your head around that. Quickly, that stock price went down, and I found myself on a business trip to Atlanta, and I had questions for the CEO that I had not met yet, and that's the gentleman in that nice ball cap. And I knocked on his door, and I said, "My name's Tom Zero. I'm one of your shareholders, and I want to know what's happening with my investment." And he sat me down, introduced me to his team. I saw his company, his buildings. I saw that the car he was driving was a humble old Hummer or truck, I think. And I believed in him. So I averaged down, I added more. When he went out and exited LTNC and started MVCO, I bought into that company long before a girl named Pixie was mentioned, because I believed in the CEO and the story. So for the LTNC shareholders out there, that story has not changed. We have come through for you each and every time. We're not going to quit. We are going to keep going, and we're going to execute on our plans, and God willing, our projections. Then come to me and say, "Okay, Tom, now we got a big pile of cash in the bank. How do we clean up the share structure?" And then we can have a conversation.
Boom. I love that. I love that explanation. And Ryan, I'll let you follow up too. And I want to get to you. I want to talk about what's going on with you. But I want to say, and this is where the difference comes between trading and investing. If you really believe in a company, and you use the 2 cents example, and guys, remember, this is not financial advice. We have that disclaimer up at the beginning of the show. So the truth is this: if you really believe in a company, and there's multiple companies that I believe in that have downtrended over the last 2 years. All right. What have I been doing? I've been averaging down because I really like the vision of the company. I like the clarity. I like the transparency. I like what they're doing. All right. And so you used a perfect example. So if you're really investing in this company long term, then you average down. You get it doesn't make sense not to, if you're a true investor and invest in the company, when you get twice as many shares for a fraction of the cost, and thus bring their average down. With everything you guys are doing, I mean, things are looking very bright for LTNC. So, I mean, and there's a lot of people that they invested into the pump of 2021. They put a bunch of money into one ticker, and they're going to bitch come hell or high water. I mean, no matter what your revenues are, no matter what the acquisition is, if it's not directly related in the share price, they don't care. But you know what? As a person who likes to invest medium to long, that doesn't bother me, because if I believe in the company, if I believe in the vision, and if I believe in the execution plan, then I'm going to average down every time. Not financial advice, but I'm going to talk about that a little bit later with a couple of.
Let me just say one more thing, if I could, Eric.
Absolutely.
Cutting you off. For those of you who noticed, I've been placing orders on the open market. I bought on the open market at $2. I'm like, I don't think it'll get down there, but if people are stupid enough to sell into me, I'll pick up those shares. So I did. And I know other insiders have bought. I believe that's all been made public in accordance with the law. But, and I think I bought it $3.36 maybe a month ago. So, I mean, I put my money where my mouth is also.
Yeah, no, right on. Ryan, I want to get to you. Sure. let's talk about the recent
Ryan,
acquisition.
who? Where's Pixie?
Yeah,
Yeah, where's Pixie?
Where's Pixie?
Before we do that, I just want to quick on what Tom was saying there. I think it's great how you break that down, Tom, with the how people should look at that. But the two things that stood out to me most, and everything you're saying, looking at it from as a long term, investment proposition. There's not a it's a finite number of shares that are coming into the market. There's not some toxic convertible note that's just spitting out shares that has to be eaten up. That's the first thing. The second part of that is going back to, the company is growing. It's not issuing shares to pay off somebody's salary from last year. The shares that have been issued are for acquisitions, and the company is growing. Whatever significant that number is, we'll find out hopefully soon. But none of that to me sounds like I want to be a panic seller, and it's hard to invest in any OTC stock, okay, because there's just not a lot of liquidity right now. But if you're looking for an actual legitimate business, we know that you have one that has good financing. We know that you do. Really, what else? What else you want? In an OTC stock that trades for less than a quarter of a penny. So I appreciate the time and effort that you took to break that down. But more importantly to me was those two little bits of nuggets of information. It's a finite number of shares, and the company is growing. It's not issuing shares to stay alive. And to me, I think that's important. All right. Yeah, let's talk about Metabestco, MVCO, OTCmarkets.com. Let's go.
Yeah, let's talk about the acquisition. Yeah. let's do it. This company and the new CEO, she has a huge presence. Anybody that wants to read up, just read up on her. And, like I said, I hope to have her on and, ask her a lot of questions. Well, very accomplished individual. How confident are you that this is the way for MVCO shareholders?
Well, I definitely, I'm 100% confident that this is the way. She, again, as I said earlier, she is a NASDAQ quality executive. She is, and she has a NASDAQ quality business. And if you look at any of the content that the stuff that we did last week was all live streamed. None of it was scripted. It was all, I'm literally walking into this gala where she won an award for being an inspiring leader in the Southeast Chamber of Commerce. I'm literally walking in and I said, hey, I'm going to live stream this, just a heads up. And I just, that's the notice that she got that we're going to be live. So it's very authentic. Same thing when I went into the Stripe Pig. Every time I went in there, it was unannounced. They didn't know I was coming in, and I just walked in and I just started hitting them with things. And, and you could tell some of that because there was one of them where Remy, he's behind the bar and he didn't really have time to talk to me because he's talking to the customers. It was very genuine. And when you look at everything that she has done throughout her career, she just excels at everything she does. She is your stereotypical overachiever. and I couldn't be happier to have her coming on board. And I really look forward to closing this deal for the shareholders.
It's remarkable. When you talk about completing a transaction like this, and this, Tom talked a lot. I asked him about, Brad and, the inner workings of how these things work. Relationships and connectivity has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
You have to have some commonalities. You have to be able to meet on a personal level to get a deal done. Talk about the timelines. Talk about the negotiation process to get something like this done.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So, each deal's a little different. Okay. I get presented, and I'm sure Tom probably does too. We get presented stuff all the time. I have someone who'll call me, once a month with some idea, some company they want me to look at. I get a lot of emails. Most of it's like, I'd call it nothing short of phishing, honestly. But occasionally you'll get one that looks interesting. This particular one, funny enough, I didn't want to go to Charleston and see the thing. I had no interest. I really wasn't interested. If you remember back in December, January, I was talking about having Metabestco buy the labor business and bring that in. We paused it because of that business is struggling a little bit. And, so I kind of had a path already. This isn't one that was really in the cards. But the guy who brought me the deal, he kept blowing up my phone. He's like, hey, man, just go down there and meet with the lady, take a look at it. And then if you don't like it, fine.
you just pass on and we'll walk away. Okay, so all right, fine, I'll go down there. So I get down there, and it was pretty immediate that I understood what it was he was looking at. I probably spent 4 hours just one-on-one with Pixie, getting to know her, try to understand her vision for what she had, get an understanding of her expertise, her financial prowess, if you will. Then I met her staff, I met her team, I walked the facility, and then we started with, all of the financial due diligence. And so we went back and forth on with follow-ups on things for about 30 days, things that I needed to see, wanted to see. Like I need to see proof of the $18 million in bourbon she has, for example, because it's not all in one place in South Carolina. So I actually have, like, I see, like, there's a listing of where they are all sitting at. You can call their bonded warehouses and everything. So it's there was a lot of work involved with validating what she has, and then really structuring the deal that would work for her and for the shareholder. So we're still ironing a few things out there. I'd say we're about 99% of the way there on it. She's in Vegas right now. As Tom mentioned, she's judging the Mrs. America contest there. And when she gets back, we'll be spending more time with her going through, the final items that we need to get worked out. But yeah, I feel very confident that deal is getting done. Again, still not guaranteed until it's inked up. Okay. But I feel very confident in her ability to lead the company forward too. And I have zero ego issues in getting out of the way.
Yeah, no. And I got to say, like, this is a very, let's look at the foundation here. This is a great place to start when entering the public market. This is huge, especially with all that booze and the market value of it. And, and it's funny when you told me the story, because I was talking to you about a month or so ago, and you was talking about how, like, you went down there just for a quick trip, and then a quick trip turned into, a much longer trip. Yeah. And so, I love the story, but where do you see this thing going? Like, there's already such a stable foundation. Where do you see it going in the next 1 year, 1 to 2 years, especially given the nice share structure?
Yeah.
NASDAQ.
So we've got 17 million shares currently, 17.6 million shares currently in the public float. Okay. That's freely tradable. Now, we've got a pretty sizable business coming in, and we valued it based off of what's there now, not what it could be converted into. I talked about this Friday that the $18 million in bourbon could actually be converted into $76 million in bourbon. That's per Pixie, per her estimates, if it were sold in a different manner. So, look, I think that's possibility. I look at the major spirit brands that are out there, and these are just the brands, like, the vodka brand or the bourbon brand, and the most currently the highest valued one is about 1.3 billion, and that's just for the brand. And this stuff is all small batch, high quality. I don't know what her long-term plans are as far as the Strike Pig brand, if she just wants to keep everything under it, or maybe break off, so, like, take the gin and give it its own thing. I think the brand she has now probably fits great, and it goes with the story of being a craft distiller. And I think that's the move, is to stick with that. Okay. If you look at the value, it's a multi-trillion dollar industry. And there's something else too. It's no secret I consume a fair amount of alcohol. I like my adult beverages. I don't consider myself an alcoholic, but I do enjoy.
For the record, the OTC community does.
Everybody, yeah.
Yeah. I'm a big bourbon fan.
Yeah. I make no effort to hide it. Yeah.
I'm kidding. Hey, I call Ryan at 5 a.m. and he's never drunk, and I call him at 5 p.m. and he's extremely rarely drunk. So I can promise you during the workday, he's as sober as can be.
Hey, there's very few people anywhere, OTC or not, that work as hard or as long as I do. Okay. I will say that.
Agreed.
You can drink responsibly, and you should. Okay. But that's kind of what I want to talk about. And I have a different appreciation for it now than I did 60 days ago. And it's really, this is Pixie's influence here. Okay. Yeah. If you think about the most celebrated moments in your life, almost all of them are shared with a friend and with a drink, whether it's wine or a bourbon, some cocktail. If you think about the most celebrated moments we have as humanity, as human beings, since the beginning of time, they've all been shared with the Spirit. And the first miracle Jesus performed was turning water into wine. It gave me a new kind of appreciation that, hey, you know what? I'm not just consuming, and I don't just sit here and drink all by myself just to get drunk. Now, I don't think that's okay. If you do that, you should consider talking to someone, okay? But you're sharing a beverage with a friend. You're sharing good times. You're making memories. There is more to it than just the booze. And this is a new concept for me where I never look, much further than, hey, it feels good when I have a couple of drinks. But I have a new appreciation for the craft that goes into it to make a high quality spirit, whether it's bourbon or vodka or whatever. And so that's a new thing for me. And you can thank Pixie for that appreciation. She really, and she believes this. This is not lip service. She believes this. She breathes it. And it's why she spent so much time just preparing her product to come to market, and why, those 8 years that we don't get back, that 8 years is love and care that's invested into that $18 million worth of bourbon. And there's no other way I can really put it, but if you want to get all warm and feely about it, that for me, that's it. And it's just, every major celebration is usually customarily done with an alcoholic beverage of some sort. And that's massive when you think about potential. So dollars, I'll let Pixie drive the bus on that. I can tell you internally for me, when I looked at the deal in terms of potential, why just the financial side of this. Okay. If she can't do 100 million in revenue within 5 years, it's not really that appealing. So for my end, and this is my look at it, not hers, I don't speak for her. If we can't do 100 million in revenue, it's really not that sexy. So I expressed that to her, and she knows where my thoughts are on it. And we'll see if that's, if that fits within her goals. And I'll let her set her own goals. I don't want to do it for her. But for me, if I didn't feel like she could get to 100, I probably wouldn't be doing the deal.
Yeah. Well, that's impressive. And, I agree. I absolutely agree with you. And I got to ask this. I got to ask about Boring Brew.
Yeah.
And I had a chance to try it. It was very good.
Great, right?
I like my medium roast, and I thought it was a true medium. I did a review. So if you haven't seen the review, check out my my Twitter or my X, whatever we call it. I posted it. I thought it was very good. And I want to thank you for setting that up. Yeah, no, it was very very good coffee. I did it in my DeLonghi. But I have to ask about it. Where's it going? Is it going to stay? Are you going to take it? Are you going to uplist it somewhere else? What's the plan for Boring Brew? Are you still good? Are you going to take it privately? What are we doing here?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think once this thing closes, Pixie and I will sit down and do a strategic evaluation of everything that we have, from the Bitcoin miners to the coffee to the water. I think we'll probably come to a quick determination of what we want to do with that. Granted, she will be in control when this thing closes. I'll still have a significant vote, of course. But it's going to boil down to what's best for the shareholders at the end of it, I think. And whatever that is, we'll let everyone know quickly once it's decided.
Right on. So, I know we go right ahead. He has
I have a question.
All yours.
Go ahead.
All right. If it's time, first of all, Ryan, thanks again for doing what you believe is best for the shareholders. I mean, here you are again, turning over a company to somebody that you think can do bigger, or at least has a bigger and better opportunity right now for the shareholders. And from a shareholder that's been in the investment for quite some time, it's music to my ears. So thank you for that. So your stock is at 10 cents or 10 and a half. I think it closed on Friday.
Yeah.
How do you, and I know the float is nothing. It's nothing, but I've done the math. Apparently it's been a mathematical weekend for me, because the most volume right now is being driven by companies that are in that 002 range.
Yeah.
You're at 10 cents. How do people get a value proposition? I know the value proposition. I've done the math. I've listened to Pixie, and Lord knows I've known you for years. But for people that look at your 10-cent stock and they're just scared, it's 10 cents and it's OTC. I mean, is there talk of NASDAQ and $4? Is a 40X possible on MVCO?
Yeah, so I tweeted a little about that, and I guess that's what you're referencing. Here's the thing. A 40X, we've got a 17.6 million, traded float, right? Getting a 40X, I don't have them in front of me, but there's probably dozens, maybe multiple dozens of companies that have done a 40x. I mean, hell, LTNC did a 80,000x. Okay, so
Let's go one more time.
Right? Yeah, I mean, what's an 80,000x on 10 cents? I don't know, $8, $80. I don't even. I think it's $80.
It's a big boat. It's a big boat. I can promise you that.
Yeah. So I know personally, I've traded companies that have had giant runs. But it's all very situational. You have a certain situation that plays out. Okay, so $4. We're talking about that. It's not a tongue in cheek. It's not me being facetious when I'm pointing that out. It's $4 is the minimum bid price for a NASDAQ uplist. Okay, there are some other requirements. I'm not a fan of reverse splits. In fact, we just did a forward split, a 10-to-1 forward split. I'm not a fan of reverse splits. I mean, the float's already small. Could you imagine what the float would be if we did a reverse split to get the $4? It seems like just a much easier thing, just to get enough eyeballs on it. Let people see the story and then let them decide if it's investable. 40x is nothing. Not financial advice. I'm not telling anybody to buy the stock, but I am telling you should check out the story and check out the stuff that we've put out and then make your own determination. You will not find in the OTC, I believe, and I believe this with all my heart, or I wouldn't be doing this deal. You will not find a better story and a better setup than what we have right here, right now. If that weren't the case, I wouldn't be doing the deal. I would be doing some other deal or continuing the path that I was already on. So I believe that with all my heart. You will not find a better story and a better setup. There's nothing out there that I'm aware of, at least, with our share structure, with all the things we have going for us. When Pixie comes in here and, she's doing these deal shows with her personality, there are going to be institutional investors looking at this, I believe, at least. And, if I'm an OTC investor, the whole game is to get in before the big money does, right? And that's this thing was set up to be able to run once I put something great in it. And my hope at the time was to just make it a Bitcoin mining monster. And that's not the path that we've been put on. And this path that we're on, I think it's a little bit easier path, frankly, than the Bitcoin mining path. So, $4, I believe that's possible, and then some.
Well, I will say, and you talk about the path. Sometimes we go on the path in life, and you say, all right, I'm going to go from point A to point B. Little did you know, it wasn't a straight line, and you ended up at point D, and point D was much better than what B was. Do you know what I'm saying? And so I messed up my letters probably on that, but you guys get what I'm saying. Like, travel the road, less travel, or wherever the phrase is. But no, you never know where you're going to end up.
That's true.
And so like even like referring to the Bitcoin, look, here you are, doing something with Stripe Pig. I mean, that's unbelievable. And so I do believe, and this is the thing too, and let's talk about the share structure. I do believe at some point that volume is going to come back for these very low floats. And, it's just a matter of time. Okay. And I think that time is very, very soon that's going to happen. I think that we're already starting to see some volume increase in the OTC in general, especially with those sub penny stocks. And so, I do think that the volume is going to come for you guys. And, it's not it won't take much to move it at all.
It won't take much to move. Here's the thing.
It just needs some attention, needs some eyes.
It needs some eyes. Yeah. And my role in this is obviously to get the thing closed, but to get it in front of everyone and anyone who will listen and look at the story. Not so much from, we want the stock to go up. Obviously, we want the stock to go up, but we need access to large distributors. I think it's great that Tom and Pixie are going to sit down. We need 20 of those. Okay. We need access to large institutional funds. So here's the thing. Any share, any financial instrument that Metabestco issues automatically carries a 2-year restriction. So if we go and raise money in a private placement, those shares are automatically restricted for 2 years. So if we go out next week, we raise $5 million at, call it 15, 20 cents a share, whatever. Those shares are not in the public float for 2 years. So, being able to, as a shareholder, knowing that no matter what they do, there's a 2-year runway that's there before anything is going to change with the share structure. I think that's important when you look at the size of what she wants to build and what I want to help her build. So my role at this point is to get her in front of anybody and everybody who can benefit her business, our business, help her grow, whether it's distribution, whether it's private investment. There's a ton of family offices that are being reached out to that do these types of investments in private companies. So you're talking about pipes, basically. So, that's my role in this. And, the share structure being what it is, I feel like the job, it could, I don't want to say it couldn't be easier because it could be easier, but it couldn't be much easier, I feel. And at the end of the day, I'm a big believer in divine intervention. There have been so many times in my life where I'm heading down one path and God just has a way of saying, you know what, let's try this road over here. And if you don't like it, he just, sometimes you just don't have a choice. So, and how ironic is it that I'm here, as the former CEO of LTNC, and then my original, first shareholder I ever met in person, by the way, Tom Zarro, the very first shareholder I met in person who was pissed off because the shares were going down. He is the CEO. If that's not divine intervention, I don't know what you want to call it.
Irony and
crazy
intervention.
I certainly believe that. I certainly believe that because you could not, the tapestry of this engagement has been insane. And
I can't wait for the movie.
Yeah, if anybody doubts it, just go to my post, which I think was April 2nd of this year when we did get pink current, and everybody's making fun now about rainbows, but I had that rainbow. And then, man, I'll tell you, it has been a journey. It's absolutely been divine. And I think that at least for the LTNC story, we're not done. I think it's going to be absolutely monstrous. It already has been to do what we've done in a few months. And then Ryan, with what Pixie's talking about, I do have another quick question. Boy, this is fun, Eric. When I get to share a screen with a guy I have an investment with, I get to get direct questions. So one thing, Pixie was very about community, local community.
Yes.
Helping the young women out of the local community. And I thought to myself, these are all wonderful attributes. It shows her heart. But to grow that company into the monster she's going to want, she's going to have to outreach beyond her community. Now, she has, regarding legacy distribution, Illumination Holdings, wholly owned subsidiary of LTNC, to carry her brand in that market that we're in. Is she reaching out to other markets? In other words, we can't get to $4 out of Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah,
we need to be in Maine. We need to be in Washington. We need to be in California. Where is she at? I think she did mention she's in 30 states. Do you know?
So she actually has distribution. You can order her product in. She said nearly every state. So I don't know if that's 48 or 50. Whatever. It's more than 40. I know that. But she actually has distribution, direct distribution in the through a distributor as legally required. In 20 states. So there are 20 states where you can walk into a store and they'll have her product, or you can walk into a store and say, hey, can you order this product for me? And they're distributing. She named off the distributor, and I didn't catch the name of it, but she did name off who the distributor was. So yeah, I know she is always looking for to expand her distribution capabilities. And I think that part of her strategy here is to build out that venue that she has the 15,000 square feet for, and then probably launch a marketing campaign alongside that. And the sip and share model, it was really interesting. I got to see this while I was there. I wasn't really a believer in it, but I saw it in real time. I went in and I live streamed this. I'm talking to a guy. He'd never been there before, his first time. And I'm like, yeah, so, did you order anything? Yeah, I got 6 bottles. I mean, it's like $200 worth of alcohol. And it was his first time there. So I understand her model. Again, it would, I wasn't a believer at first until I actually saw it in action. So, yeah, building out that venue, I feel like that's important. And I feel like she's going to need part of the raise that she's going to want to go to whenever the price gets to where she feels like it needs to be will probably be for marketing. And I think, anytime, and this by now, anytime you're pushing distribution, you need marketing to have pull through on the product. And, I imagine, I don't imagine, I know there's a very extensive, well thought out marketing plan that she has in place. She presented it to me as part of our due diligence. So yeah, that's coming.
Right on.
Excellent. Thank you, Ryan.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, this has been very enlightening, and this has been a significant podcast, I guess you could say. So
is that the new buzzword now?
Did we break the internet, Eric? Is this kind of like Elon and Donald? I mean, did we break it?
We didn't break it. We didn't break the internet. But, hey, we have 570 viewers. So, guys, please do me the favor and smash the like button, share the content, leave a comment. I love doing these. We actually have more shows coming. I said this was going to be the year of the BFC. And we love having people on to have these conversations. I like these mini roundtables that we're doing. And I love the synergy. I love the energy with you guys. Absolutely passionate about the industries that you're serving. And so I'm wishing you guys good luck. I want you to see it succeed. Good luck to your shareholders and your base, your fans. Mr. Tom Zaro and Mr. Ryan Chadell, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thanks for having us, Eric.
All right. We will touch base with you guys. Let's touch base in a month or two and they have you back on. And let's get these guys out of here. Let's get them out. Get them out of here. All right. Those guys are awesome. Awesome stuff. But we're going to keep this thing going because guess what? We have a special Discord event coming up. So I got to blast through these stocks that I said that I would talk about. I'm a man of my word. And so let's get to it and do it. All right. So HRO, I want to talk about this. All right. I'm absolutely excited for this stock. All right. And man, these guys are absolutely crushing it these days. Let's look at their most recent. I'm just laughing at something right now, and I'll tell you guys what I'm laughing at in the Discord. But Maybach's adds award-winning show to its lineup, discusses Maybach's opportunity. And he's talking about a collaboration, a subsidiary of Authentic Holdings and Children's Media Studio are pleased to announce that the award-winning animated musical series Sing and Spell. So they're going to be working in conjunction with them. This is absolutely huge. All right. Sing and Spell will be featured on Maybach's over-the-air platform, making it the first fast, free ad-supported television channel dedicated specifically to the development of early literacy skills through phonics instruction and music. Sing and Spell will be broadcasted on its Winnie's World network, which has consistently landed in the top 10 networks in the industry forum known as cord cutters. We're going to keep this thing going. Each month, we are consistently adding between 200 to 500 full-length motion pictures and serial television shows to our library. This will be a subscription-based service at an extremely affordable offered to our 200 million plus global households. All right. And so the live stream thing is really cool that they have going on. I think Maybach's honestly is going to be the bread and butter of ticker AHRO. They're not messing around. Chris G has been bringing it lately. He has been bringing it. And so, Maybach's already owns a live stream network, which allows us to do live stream events for just the variable cost or per head cost. This is based on how many pay-per-view buys there are. We pay for the bandwidth and storage per user only. So in other words, we can do a pay-per-view event, charge a nominal price instead of a premium price, and bring it to the global audience. So they are talking about doing pay-per-view events. What events? I'm going to ask him next time he's on the show. And so I'll send an email, actually. I'm going to ask him more about what he could share at this moment. I know they don't want to put out news unless they have things confirmed. So we will find out. So, they talk about the music and sports. So in regards to these pay-per-view events, but no specifics yet. I want specifics. I want to know what they're going to be broadcasting. All right. Hey, is it going to be the Tyson fight? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. No, that'd be pretty cool. That would be. No, I don't think that's going to happen. Don't quote me. Don't say, hey, I heard it on Fireside. It was going to be a Tyson fight on Maybach's. Oh, man. And so, what he's done, and actually he put out this tweet on the 23rd. And AHRO, by the way, the manufacturing and distribution company referred to in an earlier post will do over $300 million in sales for 2024. Think about that. Now we will launch a dedicated channel for them at 5% commission, giving them a global footprint instead of just the U.S. footprint they maintain. Our revenue from that venture could be substantial, in my honest opinion, he says. Now, I actually put out a poll, and yes, the results are in. Which one of the top TV manufacturers do you think iDream CTV will sign an agreement with? Share your thoughts down below. And we got to get better at putting comments down there. I want comments beneath these polls. Make sure you leave a comment. I want to know what you guys are thinking. But Hisense won the poll with 35.1%. And so let's take a look at Hisense. Oh my gosh, it's a publicly traded company sitting at $3. So if they are able to announce something, with these companies, let's take Hisense, for example, if it's Hisense, that is huge. This would be huge. Same financial advice. I hope it is. I mean, to partner with another publicly traded company is absolutely massive for this. So keep this one on your radar. I think this thing's going to explode eventually. Just my opinion. And I do have 4+ million shares of it, though some of you Discord members have surpassed me. So I better get on my game. Lisa Matthews. Yep. Just saying. All right, let's look at the chart. Where do I like it? I mean, 10 has been the stable mark, 001. All right, I got in. Here's my share count at 777. I liked it. Even got down to the 4s and the 5s. It was, you were able to grab shares when it was tradable before it went to expert market, but he got out of expert market, held true to his word, and got, done what he needed to get done, got the filings in, and we are smooth sailing and we are moving up and out. So where do I like it? I like it. You can pick up 10s, pick up 12s. This is one that is slap worthy, after, going current, we actually were on a nice surge with some of those PRs and hit dub 2. So do I think this is going to be a penny runner? Absolutely, I do. But it's going to take some time. But I mean, these guys are bringing it every day. Every week they have announcements. He's clear on Twitter. He likes to engage with shareholders. He responds to emails. He's been in the Discord. Guys, Chris G is always in the Discord commenting and having fun in the AHR room. So if you're interested, come on and join us. And he's a good dude. He likes to barbecue. We were talking about that the other day. He was smoking a pork shoulder today. I go, I like it. He appreciates the art of the meat. So yeah, you coming at me, Lisa Matthews? Coming at me? No, I'm not going to mess with you because I know you will wail the hell out of this thing and beat me. So wailing, we will go. All right. ADHC. Now I wanted to touch base with this one because this is one that has been very, very exciting. Let's take a look at their recent tweets. Okay. The management team of ADHC has multiple major announcements coming up in the near future. Stay tuned, everyone, and thank you all for your support. The announcements will be made through official press release channels, and right around the same time. Final approval received for several major corporate events starting next week. Buckle up. That is the OTC tweet of all OTC tweets. Man, juicy. Stay tuned. All right. Let's look at them. They're not audited. Alternative reporting standard. Market cap of 2.8 million. Authorized share count 3 billion. Outstanding shares 1.2 billion. And held at DT 851 million. So, it's a standard structure. A nice structure, I'd say. ADHC management. So right when you see that share structure, and you're like, thinking, great. The minute things happen, they're going to start diluting and they're going to start pouring shares into the market. ADHC, no dilution plan soon. Well, define soon. I know that's just me being me. But the word soon, you guys know how I feel about that word. ADHC's debt is not eligible to be converted into common stock. There are no plans for any dilution at this time. Thus, future valuation catalysts are in place and will be announced soon. And here's another one. They put out a tweet, and it's with Bill Colon. And so let's talk about this guy. Why would they have his quote on there? Because I think he's going to be significant. Why? Let's talk about that in a second. Let's look at their most recent PR. American Diversified Holdings Corporation launches new artificial intelligence AI business division. All right. Universal Wellness AI was designed to integrate the latest artificial intelligence technology into patient wellness and preventative healthcare. This site contains numerous features applying AI to create a healthier world, including AI avatars. From Synthesia.io, Synthesia, I think that's how I say it, and Chat GPT, that's an easier one. Customer module, service module. 4 areas of focus are being developed. Modalities, algorithms, bio-device innovations, APP-based connectivity. All right, check out this press release if you haven't already. So let's look at Universal Wellness. Has been founded with the support of leading healthcare, e-commerce, and software professionals, one of those being Bill Colon. So I'm like, all right, let's connect the dots here. All right, bio-device engineer, founder of FDA-approved single-pass self-cauterizing syringe, holder of over 13 patents. All right, obviously, he knows what he's doing. So my career has been focused on designing and engineering medical devices to help patients manage their health and prevent disease. My research into how AI can assist the FDA approval process has led to a full commitment to bring the power of AI to my approach to developing bio-device technology, added Bill Colon. All right, so he obviously has been doing this for a long time, so we're going to see what his role is with ADHC. All right, so you could check him out on LinkedIn. All right, he has 500 plus connections, big account. Experienced medical device executive with expertise in investor presentations, fundraising, building teams, product development, operations management, class 2 and class 3 medical device, clinical trials, and startup organizations. Hands-on experience with peripheral cardiovascular devices from concept through commercialization. All right, let's keep moving on. And it talks about him being the CEO of SinglePass. About SinglePass, SinglePass is a medical device company dedicated to developing an innovative solution to post-biopsy bleeding, enhance patient care, and improve clinical outcomes. With a focus on precision, reliability, SinglePass strives to revolutionize the healthcare landscape through cutting-edge technology by safely cauterizing deep tissue through a guide needle, promising swift, easy, and safe biopsy procedures. All right, so where do I like this one? Well, this thing is it's cranking right now. So where do you buy it? Do you just jump in the morning? I mean, this thing is going somewhere. Where are they going to be? Where's the OTC going to take it? I don't know. I don't know where it's going to go. But you know what? I look at the main markers, those psychological markers like Dub 1, Dub 1.5, Dub 2, because they do play a role. You often see a lot of dumping, when something comes out of, EM and it was sitting at 777, opens up, it runs up to Dub 2, and then automatically people start selling at, that 1.9 mark. And they, it's just about the easy number. But I do like it at the 2.2 mark. If you're going to get in, if it's going to continue to trend upwards, maybe you want to catch a dip. Maybe grab it at 2.2. That might be a marker to get it. But you never know what's going to happen. It could fully retrace. If the company is late on an announcement, if traders aren't happy with it, maybe they didn't get a chance to sell on Friday and they just want to get rid of their position. You don't know what's going to happen with these. That's just how the nature of the beast. So only put in what you can afford to lose. But where would I go if I was getting in this one? I would put it in the Dub 2 mark. Why not? If I really wanted it, I'm putting my order in at 2.2. But don't take this as financial advice. Damn it. I'm just kidding. All right. Let's keep going. Oh, yeah. By the way, this guy, I want you to follow this knucklehead. Okay. Stock Picks NYC ADHC chart. Chart looks absolutely beautiful. Keep on watch for next week. CDD thread attached below for more info. And I'll tell you, this cat does put together some really nice DD threads when he's covering a stock. When he's working with companies, when he's out there doing what he's doing, he makes sure, man, he has great DD threads. And I just talked to him the other day. Great guy. And so give this knucklehead a follow at Stock Picks NYC. Good job out there, brother. Here's the new one that's been added to the BFC watch list, ticker HWAL. And you know what? Hey, it's really exciting because, well, we're going to have the CEO in the Discord tonight, right after the show. Right after the show, we're going to get to the nitty gritty, and we're going to be speaking with Roxana Lou Green, the CEO of Hollywall. So, unaudited, alternative reporting standard, market cap at 8.7 million, authorized share count 148 million, outstanding share count 145 million, with unrestricted being 25 of that, 25 million. Held at DTC, we're looking at under a $10 million, a 10 million float. This thing is another one. We're talking about nice share structures. This thing is going to move hot. It's going to move easy. So what do they have going on? Well, here we're talking about a transition update that they talked about. As part of HWAL's continuing transition and growth plan, several actions are underway or have already been taken. All right. They talked about the return of 51 million common shares to the Treasury as part of its planned share reduction initiative. All right. HWAL is committed to retiring I hate typos like that in press releases. Just saying. To retiring the company's outstanding convertible debt and implementing a share buyback and retirement plan. They plan to pay a cash dividend to shareholders from company operations and proceeds from the future sale of the music library. But by the way, and I called her today and asked her, I go, how many songs do you have the rights to right now? 27,000 songs. And they're not like some songs you haven't heard of. These are songs that are well known. Their catalog is freaking huge. I'm a music lover. I have degrees in music. I've worked in the music education. I'll tell you, it's a passion of mine. It's been a passion since I was young, and they are really exciting me with their catalog. So you want to put these guys on your radar. And they talked about this was really, really cool. And I listened to one of their NFT spaces where they had the release of their NFT, which, by the way, Lisa Matthews has the NFT. Let them know in the chat, how do you like the NFT, Lisa Matthews? She's one of those DD from the source people where she gets the product to try it for herself. So Melody Trust formed a new record label, Lunar Records, in partnership with Space Blue for the specific curation of the Lunar Prize Moon Museum. This museum was aboard a payload in the SpaceX Falcon 9, which launched from Cape Canaveral, Florida on February 15th, 2024. The lunar spacecraft named Odysseus successfully landed on the moon on February 22nd, 2024, also carrying the Lunar Prize Moon Museum. I think that is so damn cool, to be honest with you. And anybody that knows me well, I love the space stuff. And by the way, Discord people, how could you not know that was Space Odyssey? 2001 Space Odyssey I was watching last night. Nobody got it within the time allotted, but that's all right. So here is Roxana, top female drummer, music composer and publisher, pianist and singer, has performed hundreds of live performances and dozens of music recording sessions. And I told her, I go, I want a video of you jamming on the drums. I want to see some good jamming going on. So I want to hear the beats, Roxana. Let's get it going on. So her experience, CEO of publicly trading and private companies, working with corporate, legal, and financial counsels, she's straight up music business. And so this is the kind of person that you really want running a company that is geared towards this, and he has the rights to 27,000 songs. Corporate merger and acquisitions, negotiation, corporate branding, marketing, and public relations. And so, like I said, we're going to be talking with her momentarily in the Discord, and I'm sure she's going to be a guest on the BFC. Maybe we'll do it next Sunday. Hey, why the hell not? Where do I like this stock? Well, it had a surge. It bumped right up to 10. Low floater moves like nothing. Right here, it's consolidating between 4 cents and 6.5, but 4 to 7-ish. Where do I like it? If I'm just going to buy it, I'm just going to buy it down here because you know what? The stock ran huge. This thing, I think it was 2019. This thing went ballistic. Huge share price, the $20 share price, I think. And now the share structure is even tighter. And now it looks like they're trying to make more noise in the market. And it looks like they're getting more deals done, especially with the NFT, with the SpaceX. That thing's unbelievable. So there's more active. You can see, where there's loading going on. The stock's being more active, and they want to make more noise. So where do I buy this one? Anywhere down here because it's so low float. You could. But the thing about these low floaters, especially with the way volume is in the OTC right now, the truth is it's hard to get those bid orders filled because there's not the volume to fill your order. So that's why you slap when you can, you pull back, you do what you got to do. Maybe let a market maker fill you. But I don't know. And what does Lisa Matthews say? She goes, wish I could post a picture. A description doesn't do it justice in print. It's clear and 3D. So I'll post a link to get that NFT out to you guys. So you definitely want to check that out, especially if you have that wallet. LUDG. What do I got to say about this one? Yeah, this is going to be a big stock. We were talking about medical earlier, and I'll tell you right now, if they're able to get these cancer testing kits, these screening tests for breast cancer, they plan on launching their product. It's going to be massive, and the board is huge. I will have an interview with the LUDG COO Sunday, September 8th, 6 p.m. EDT. Be here. Ask questions. Another low floater, beautiful stock. SAML. What are we doing here? Yeah. BFC is buying it. That's right. Yeah, look at those hipsters. Yeah, right. They're buying us ammo. That guy right there. Yeah. Is he buying it? Do you think that guy's really buying it? I'm loading it. You know why? Because I think that QIND is going to secure that deal. And when it does, guess what's going to happen? SAML is going the same route. So if they can prove their success, guess what? SAML's next. And so I'm close to 1 million shares. I want to get to 2 million. Why the hell not? This thing's going to fly when it's time. All right. SAML. Let's go. I got the funk going on. Yeah. All right. ASII, I'm going to finish up here. What do we got going on? All right. Got the yield sign 0017. This has been moving positively. A lot of volume getting behind this, a lot of energy. I mean, this thing had some huge volume last week. Oh no, that ticker was SAML, SAML, ding ding, not SMAL. Did I say that? Anyways, ASII, this one's looking good. 2.5 billion authorized shares. It's at a $3.3 million market cap right here. Let's look at. So they did have this agreement, an agreement with all convertible debt holders for total debt reduction and exchange into preferred stock. All right. This is huge. This new series of preferred stock will reduce the debt conversions. Sorry for not highlighting this section, by the way. Discount from as high as 45% with some lenders and reducing it to 15%, resulting in a 65% reduction in the discount rate in certain cases. Additionally, lenders have agreed to forgive 100% of the total interest and default interest accrued date, thereby lowering the company's overall debt and overhang by approximately 40%. Okay. Debt exchange agreements with 100% of the company's currently outstanding convertible debt holders who now hold a new series of convertible preferred stock. This strategic move has substantially improved the company's financial position, increasing net shareholder equity from approximately 5 million to approximately 45,000, representing a positive balance sheet impact of over $5 million. These financial impact figures have been calculated by the company's internal accounting team, are preliminary, and are subject to a year-end audit adjustment. So, they're already talking about the process of uplisting to the OTCQB. And the ultimate goal is to list on the NASDAQ or the NYSE. But I gotta say, can they really start the process without being at that share price? So, and Lisa Matthews, she's on it. It will be current tomorrow. They filed. Bingo. All right, done. And guess what? Do I believe her? Yeah, because she knows her shit. Okay. So what else do we got going on? Let's see. The company has detailed a strategic approach that includes both synergistic acquisitions and organic growth initiatives. They're talking about a $750 million 5-year revenue growth plan. Huge. And it's sitting at 0017. Absolutely huge, especially when they renegotiated that debt. This thing could pop off at any time. We need more updates, and we're going to get them very, very soon. They talk about their new CEO that they're going to announce. A proven fintech and telco entrepreneur has narrowed down a list of acquisition targets. We're now selecting a strong platform company to drive future growth through strategic add-on acquisitions, building a solid foundation for long-term success. Our new operating CEO is a successful fintech. All right, so they're really talking up this guy. This is going to be a huge catalyst. We should be very, very excited as to see what's going on with these guys. So let's see the CEO. I want the name. All right. Where do I like it? Well, it depends what you want to go for. It's had some retracement. It bounces off that dub one. There's a nice chance of selling, get some profit there. For me personally, I've been really picky with my buys. Something like this, if you're just excited about it and want to help move it, slap it. But I do like 1.3. I like that point for me personally. That's one thing that I would be doing. I would put it in at 1.3. But, the truth is, as these things pick up momentum, they're not predictable. That's the thing about these stocks. You could have a huge volume day and this thing run 100%. That's that. But isn't that why we do the OTC? Isn't that what makes this so much fun? Is the fact that we could just, as a trader community, oh, wow, we all bought that stock today and you could see it in the share price. So obviously this thing's moving north. It's moving in the right direction. You want to clear and settle. I always look for that resistance to become a new support. And so that new resistance for me, would be 15. Actually, the big resistance, it got batted down at 2. Let's clear 2, get some support on 2. But remember, in the OTC, news will trump the chart. You could have huge news, boom, and you have an influx of buying, and you could throw the chart out the window. But gaps fill. I'm one of those people that think that gaps always fill. Call me crazy. Do you guys always think the gaps fill? You tell me. But no, listen, I had today was a great day. Great day. We got to get to the Discord. We have a whole nother conversation to have in the Discord. We're not stopping at the BFC. We're going to keep bringing it. Man, I got to thank my guests, Super Robot, Tom Zaro, and Ryan Shadell. Inspiring guys. They bust their ass. They're working their butts off. And that's what this is all about. DD from the source, where we could sit down and ask them questions. And I can't wait to have them on for another update. It's a motivator for me to keep doing what I do. And somebody posted that I look red today. Yeah, I got a major sun. I was at the Bills game, by the way, at the Bills game yesterday in direct sun, and we lost. Okay, but we're not going to talk about that. Maybe next time. Next time. Opening day is coming very, very soon. And I know some of you guys are doing a lot of your fantasy football parties today. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting year for my Buffalo Bills, but that's all I got. Listen, I want to say thank you to the BFC community. Thank you to the LTNC community. Thank you to the Giraffe community. Thank you to MVCO, all you shareholders, all you guys out there, everybody that's been part of the BFC, retweeted stuff, like stuff. I appreciate you, and we're just going to keep going. We're not going to stop. And you know what? I'll finish with this. You know what? Hey, I like it. AHRO to the moon. Why the hell not? That's all I got. And remember, there's more that binds us than breaks us. See you in the Discord in 5 minutes. Peace out, guys.